Hello everyone. In today's episode, we delve into the tragic story of Sadie Hartley, a confident and successful businesswoman from England whose life was tragically cut short by jealousy and possessiveness. This case exemplifies how common emotions can escalate into an obsession, leading to a horrific crime. Sadie Hartley was born in 1955 in Newark-on-Trent, the third of 7 siblings. Her father was a truck driver, and her mother managed the household. Sadie earned a degree in biology from the University of Brighton and later worked in the pharmaceutical industry before establishing her own thriving company. In 1981, Sadie married Jerry Hartley, and they had 2 children, a son named Harry and a daughter named Charlotte. As a successful businesswoman, friends described her as hard-working, calm and balanced. She preferred resolving issues through conversation and valued physical activity, especially horse riding. Colleagues remembered her as an ideal boss. Working alongside her felt like collaborating with a good friend rather than a superior. Despite her professional success, Sadie's personal life faced challenges. Her first marriage ended in divorce. At the time of the events in question, she was in a relationship with Ian Johnston, a former firefighter and ski instructor. On January 15, 2016, Sadie's colleague became concerned when she didn't show up for work and was unreachable, which was out of character for her. The police were contacted to check on her well-being. Upon arriving at her home in Helmshaw, Lancashire, officers saw through a window a woman lying in a pool of blood. They forced entry and discovered that Sadie had been the victim of a brutal attack, having suffered more than 40 stab wounds. A seasoned police officer described the crime scene as one of the most horrific he had encountered in his career. Sadie Hartley's daughter, Charlotte, received the devastating news of her mother's death while on vacation with her fiancé. She recalled receiving the phone call at 4 a.m., describing it as the moment her entire world fell apart. To make matters worse, she was not even in England at the time, which left her feeling utterly helpless. Sadie's body was discovered on the hallway floor of her home, but there were no signs of forced entry. It appeared she had willingly let her attacker inside. Evidence suggested the assault began immediately after she opened the door. Investigators confirmed that Sadie was alive at 7:30 p.m. that evening because she had spoken to a colleague on the phone at that time. The post-mortem revealed that Sadie had suffered over 40 stab wounds, with injuries to her spinal cord, right eye, lungs, and spleen. Additionally, a small fragment of a stun gun was found lodged in the collar of her blouse. It became clear that Sadie was incapacitated by the stun gun before being attacked with a knife. Tragically, it is believed she remained conscious but paralyzed during the initial stages of the attack. The police collected evidence at the scene and began canvassing the neighborhood, asking residents if they had noticed anything unusual in recent days. Sadie's home, located on Sandbank Cottages in Helmshaw, Lancashire, was in a wealthy area with large, impressive houses worth up to £1 million. Fortunately, most of the homes in the area were equipped with surveillance cameras. Investigators reviewed hours of CCTV footage and quickly identified a suspicious blue Renault Clio driving through the neighborhood. None of the local residents owned a car matching that description. Moreover, 4 minutes after the Clio passed by, CCTV captured a person walking down the street. Police hypothesized that the car was scouting to check if Sadie was home and relaying this information to the second individual caught on camera. At the time of the attack, Sadie was home alone. Her partner, Ian Johnston, was skiing in Switzerland and had planned for Sadie to join him after finishing urgent business commitments. Ian, a retired firefighter, led an active lifestyle as a ski instructor and avid adventurer. He had been married before, but those relationships ended in divorce. Ian met Sadie in 2002, but their relationship was initially casual, with breaks due to the demands of Sadie's career. Ian found her dedication to work challenging to accept. However, in 2010, the couple decided to commit fully to their relationship and began living together. Ian Johnston provided investigators with crucial information. First, he revealed that in August 2015, there had been a break-in at their home, after which Sadie became fearful of staying alone. This led police to consider whether the same intruders might have returned, but something had gone wrong this time. Ian also recalled a phone call he had with Sadie just days before her murder. She had been extremely upset and shaken, recounting an unsettling encounter. A strange woman in a baseball cap had rung her doorbell and handed her a bouquet of flowers. Sadie found the situation suspicious, as the flowers looked cheap and unprofessional, costing only £3. She immediately linked the incident to the earlier break-in, growing increasingly worried about her safety. Ian then provided police with another significant lead: his ex-girlfriend, Sarah Williams. Sarah had previously attempted to sabotage his relationship with Sadie by sending her a malicious letter. Ian had dated Sarah during a brief break in his relationship with Sadie. At the time, Ian worked as a ski instructor at the Chill Factory, an indoor ski slope where Sarah was a regular visitor. Their relationship, however, was short-lived due to Sarah's possessiveness and controlling behaviour. When Ian reconciled with Sadie, Sarah became enraged. She sent Sadie a letter detailing her past relationship with Ian, hoping to break them up. Instead, her actions had the opposite effect, as Ian and Sadie decided to solidify their commitment by moving in together. Despite this, Ian continued to exchange text messages with Sarah. On one occasion, Ian and Sadie were on vacation at the same hotel where Sarah and her partner were staying, and Ian and Sarah even exchanged flirtatious messages during the trip. Ian also saw Sarah regularly because she worked for a company organising ski vacations with an office located in the same building as the indoor ski slope, where he taught. Sarah, then 34, was significantly younger than Ian and in a long-term relationship with a 75-year-old married man. Investigators began analysing Sarah's cell phone data to track her movements in the week leading up to the murder. Although Sarah lived in Chester, about an hour away from Sadie's home in Helmshaw, her phone was logged in Helmshaw on the day Sadie received the flowers. This led police to hypothesize that Sarah delivered the flowers herself to confirm Sadie's presence, intending to return a week later to kill her. On the second day of the investigation, Sarah was arrested. She was reportedly shocked when police entered her bedroom in the middle of the night. This rapid arrest was surprising, as it carried the risk of releasing her if insufficient evidence emerged, or if Sarah did not incriminate herself during questioning. Predictably, Sarah denied any involvement, claiming she was at home in Chester on the day of the murder, feeling unwell and leaving work early. Around 6 p.m, she texted her lover, David, saying she planned to have tea and rest. When police searched Sarah's home, they found it thoroughly cleaned, reeking of bleach, yet small traces of blood were discovered in the bathtub, later confirmed to belong to Sadie. Under Sarah's pillow, investigators found an old Nokia phone. Records revealed that Sarah used this phone on the day of the murder to make 2 calls, one to her workplace in the morning and another to Sadie's business later. She had also used this phone previously to contact individuals selling second-hand cars. The last number dialed from the phone belonged to a man who had sold Sarah a blue Renault Clio, which she had paid for in cash. Investigators now knew the car's registration numbers to look for, but the vehicle had not been picked up by surveillance systems. However, an officer eventually found a photo matching the description of the Renault Clio. The issue was that the license plate numbers did not match. Upon closer inspection, it was discovered that Sarah had altered one digit on the plate, changing a 3 to an 8. When the altered license plate discovery was made, police quickly located the car in a parking lot 56 miles from the crime scene. They were confident that they would find traces of blood inside, securing critical evidence against Sarah. During interrogations, Sarah remained calm, composed, and unnervingly confident. She showed no signs of anxiety or emotion. On her phone, in the notes section, investigators uncovered an extensive collection of writings about Ian, detailing her thoughts and fantasies about him. It became clear that Sarah had developed an unhealthy obsession with Ian, though she managed to mask this during police interviews. The investigators continued their search for the murder weapon. As they delved deeper into Sarah's behaviour, they uncovered an even more disturbing detail: how Sarah knew where Sadie lived. On December 2nd, 2015, Sarah, Sadie and Ian had all attended a holiday party at the Chill Factory. That evening, Sarah had secretly attached a GPS tracker to Ian's car. Over the following weeks, she frequently visited his home to recharge the device, tracking Ian's movements obsessively. Chillingly, Sarah had already decided to kill Sadie by the time of that party, meaning Sadie unknowingly spent the evening in the same room as her future murderer. However, when it was revealed that the two women had previously crossed paths, detectives concluded that Sarah had likely not delivered the flowers to Sadie herself. This meant there was an accomplice. On the day the flowers were delivered, witnesses reported seeing a silver Opel Astra in the area. Inside the car were a woman and a bald man. As police interviewed people in Sarah's close circle, one officer noticed a similar car parked in the driveway of Katrina Walsh, Sarah's close friend. Katrina, 56, always wore a baseball cap because she suffered from alopecia, which left her with little to no hair. She worked as a horse riding instructor and had known Sarah since Sarah was a teenager. The two had met through horseback riding, and Katrina had always been obsessively devoted to Sarah, seeking to impress her at every turn. Investigators established that Katrina was the woman who had delivered the flowers to Sadie on January 7th, playing an integral role in Sarah's calculated plan. The cell tower data confirmed that Katrina was in Helmshaw on the day the flowers were delivered. Additionally, CCTV footage showed Sarah and Katrina, with her distinctive headwear, entering a supermarket and leaving with a bouquet of flowers. This evidence prompted police to arrest Katrina as well. From the beginning, Katrina claimed she had significant memory issues, saying she would forget everything within 3 days unless she wrote it down. She explained that she kept a diary to record things she shouldn't forget, although sometimes she struggled to understand her earlier notes. Katrina stated she was confident Sarah had killed Sadie because her journal entries hinted that something terrible had happened, and Sarah's behaviour had since terrified her. However, she claimed she couldn't remember if she had participated in any wrongdoing. Despite her claims, she was willing to fully cooperate with the police, admitting that she had delivered the flowers to Sadie. Investigators doubted Katrina's supposed memory loss, noting it seemed too selective. It was clear to them that Katrina was willing to say anything to absolve herself of guilt. Meanwhile, police continued gathering evidence against Sarah. Surveillance footage from near Sarah's home revealed that, contrary to her claims of being bedridden due to illness, she had left her house with Katrina and headed toward a car. Moreover, a shoe print found at the crime scene matched boots discovered in Sarah's home. Investigators also uncovered that Sarah and Katrina had travelled to Germany specifically to purchase a stun gun. In Katrina's home, police seized all her diaries, which revealed that the women had been planning Sadie's murder for 1.5 years. This was a cold-blooded, meticulously plotted crime. Hoping for a reduced sentence, Katrina led police to where she had buried the murder weapons. This included a stun gun, missing the part later found in Sadie's scarf, a knife still bearing traces of blood, and the keys to the Renault Clio. Despite her claims of being misled into thinking it was a harmless game, her journals stated otherwise. In August 2014, Katrina had written that Sadie would be murdered and expressed excitement about participating in the act. This made her claims of memory loss and ignorance implausible. When Sarah was confronted with the mounting evidence against her and informed of Katrina's arrest, her demeanour shifted for the first time. Her confidence visibly wavered, and she appeared startled. From that moment, she refused to answer any further questions from the investigators.
Aged about 3 days before I got the phone call, so I was from an incredible high to an incredible low. She was just perfect. There was nothing bad about her that anybody could say. She was just a lovely, trustworthy, kind, loving woman.
Sarah Williams was brought up the only child of electrician Christopher and wife Barbara in Bebington, Merseyside. At a fee-paying school in Birkenhead, she was taunted and bullied because of her lazy right eye. In 1995, age 13, she was allegedly abducted by a man who pushed her off her bicycle, bundled her into his car boot, and dumped her in a lane 40 miles away. The culprit was never caught, and some suggested Sarah had made up the story. But later that month, Cheshire police investigated an almost identical incident. When she was still a 17-year-old sixth former, Sarah bewitched millionaire businessman David Hardwick, 40 years her senior. They met at the Wirral Riding Centre, and the heating oil boss became her sugar daddy, treating her to 12 foreign holidays a year, despite still being married to long-suffering wife Rowena. By her late teens, William's parents had split, and she struck up a friendship with older tattooed horse riding instructor Katrina Walsh. Some friends believed they were lovers. Sarah had always loved being the centre of attention. In relationships, she was possessive and intensely jealous, often pursuing men who were already married. Ian wasn't the first married man whose marriage she tried to destroy. In the past, Sarah had spent hours parked outside her lover's house, written letters to his wife, and even falsely claimed she was pregnant. When one partner wanted to start a proper relationship with her and asked her to cut ties with David, Sarah refused. Despite usually aiming to ruin her lover's marriages, she couldn't let go of the steady financial support David provided. Sarah even referred to herself as the little psychopath in a text message. During the trial, both Sarah and Katrina pleaded not guilty. After 6 weeks, the court delivered its verdict. Sarah was sentenced to 30 years in prison, while Katrina received 25 years. As of 2016, Sarah Williams was incarcerated at HM Prison Style, a women's prison in Cheshire, England. Information about Katrina Walsh's specific prison location is not publicly available. Given the length of their sentences, both women remain in prison.
We were first and foremost friends. And I miss it like you won't believe. To realise that somebody you think the world of is taken in such a horrific, pointless, senseless way. And then to go to court and hear what's gone on to that endeavour, for that end, is just, it's beyond belief.
Thank you for joining me today. I hope you found the story intriguing. Until next time, take care and stay safe.